Hi, I'm Steven Abusch.
I'm Jill Abusch.
And thank you.
Another husband-wife team.
Yeah. So many of them here tonight. Yeah. So we'll just go then. Well, we are really so pleased to welcome you to the Jonah Mac Theatre here this evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. And I want to say that we are grateful that the Dreskins have helped us find a way to make it matter here at the Playgroup Theatre, where we love and miss Jonah so much.
So a little bit about this space that we're in. Billy and Ellen named their son, as you just heard, Jonah Mac Dreskin. When we met him, we called him Jonah. It seemed the right thing to do. That was his name. It suited him. And as you just heard, when he went off to college, pulled Billy and Ellen aside and asked them not to call him Jonah. He wanted to be known as Mac. So there at Buffalo University, that was his name, and that's what his friends called him. He was carving out a new adult identity for himself. So we don't know where our Jonah would have landed on that. We don't know what he would have ultimately called himself. So we named this theater, Jonah's Theater, the Jonah Mac Theatre, because we want to honor the child that Jonah was while he was here at PGT and the adult he was choosing to be out in the world. And we hope that all of our students will be inspired by that. We want them to fully embrace their childhoods and to lean into who they are while they're in the warm embrace of their parents and this theater, and then to use that as a foundation and go out and create the adulthoods that they envision for themselves.
Jonah was friendly. And not just friendly, he was friendly. Like, it was his mission. So it was really important to us that we filled the Jonah Mac Theatre with welcoming, vibrant color and warm lights. My favorite memory of Jonah is from callbacks for Secret Garden. The show calls for a cast of adults, which in our world means teenagers, duh. And just 2 young children. Back in our studios before this beautiful theater, we were in a small room and there were a ton of teenagers and just a couple of younger kids. Among the younger kids, a young Noah Weiner at his first ever PGT callback.
He was so cute and so small.
And so nervous. Super nervous and totally overwhelmed by all the noise and all the big kids in a crowded space. At the beginning of every callback, the first thing we do is tell everyone, what? Take 2 minutes to get up and make new friends. Exactly. So Jonah, who was about 9.
Noah.
I'm sorry. Well, Noah, who was about 9 and so nervous, he crawled under the upright piano that was up against the wall. And when I looked up, Jonah, who was about 16, had crawled under the piano with him to introduce himself and make a new friend. Jonah stayed there with Noah until he felt confident enough to come out. And it took a while. Our orange piano is a fixture in the Jonah Mac Theatre. It is for all the little Noahs who need refuge and for all of those like Jonah who are friendly enough to join them and make a new friend.
So to know Jonah was to be prepared for the unexpected. He was full of surprises. You'd say, hey, Jonah, and he would sweep you up and spin you around in a big hug. Not just like his friends, but me. And like Steven. Really everyone, anyone. That joyful element of surprise created a feeling of whimsy that followed Jonah around wherever he went. It made him a great actor. Brilliant, really. Audiences just loved that they never knew quite what to expect from him. Sarah, I don't know if you remember, but we were in a rehearsal once. I just remembered this today. I don't know if I ever told you. And Alex Wolitzer was like, I want to go get a sandwich at Subway, but I don't want to put on my shoes. Put on her shoes. So Jonah was like, hop on. So she jumped on his back, but I don't think she really thought, she thought she'd just jump right off, but he meant it. So he took her on his back down to Subway, where we used to get our sandwiches when we were in the Yucky Mall. And he took her all the way. You wouldn't go there barefoot. It was so gross. So he took her all the way and down the stairs, and he never put her down. He took her down. She got her sandwich. He took her up the stairs, back all the way back up, and she had her dinner. That was Jonah. Just hop on, you know. She couldn't believe it. Yeah. And that was his work on stage. You never knew what to expect from him. So we've included some surprises in our theater. A random orange chair, a random blue pipe. We want our students to surprise themselves and each other, to let themselves take creative risks and wander away from their prepared plan, to take their craft seriously, but never take themselves too seriously.
Our Jonah was able to listen to the beat of his own heart. He didn't look sideways to see what everyone else was doing when choosing who to be or how to think or what to wear. He didn't care that nobody else was wearing a, how did you put it, black and white checkered, stingy brimmed fedora hat. Exactly. He liked it, so he wore it. We honor that confident, creative, non-conforming spirit with floor to ceiling, black and white checkered curtains. And we hope that our students will be inspired to be bold, courageous, and totally their own selves. We want our students to dare to be different, as Jonah did.
The truth is, those curtains were a total pain in the butt to install, but they're totally magnificent, just like Jonah. Throughout the installation, we ran into one unforeseen obstacle after another. It took days longer than anticipated. I kept hearing Steven say something to the effect of, "Why won't you do what I want you to do?" It felt familiar. As Jonah's parents and directors can attest, raising and teaching Jonah felt a lot like that.
By the way, this is all precariously up on a painter's scaffold, 18 feet in the air.
He was all high and screaming. Yeah. But once the curtains were installed, we stood back and we were awestruck. We were speechless at how they transformed the entire theater. We couldn't get over how amazing they were. And that also felt very familiar. It is just how we felt when we watched Jonah on stage. Awestruck, speechless, unable to believe how amazing he was. That was Jonah, a total pain in the butt and totally worth it. We want our students to know that it's okay to be a pain in the butt.
You better be worth it. You better be worth it. We love you.
It's okay to struggle. It's okay to be difficult. It's okay to hit obstacles along the way. Getting to installation isn't always a straight line. Often the obstacles are what get you to magnificence. It doesn't have to be easy. We, the adults who love you, we're ready to struggle with you. It's okay.
This theater doesn't take away our loss. We will always miss Jonah. But I have to say there was something about designing the logo with the dress-skins and cutting it out by hand and sanding it down and staining it so it was just right to hang outside that door. And when there was not the right light fixture to hang in that weird open space in the two-story area of the theater, made it by hand and assembled it together to be just what we wanted it to be to fill that space. There's something about that process that helped. So I thank you for that. To the Dreskins and to all who loved and lost Jonah, we pledge that as artists and educators, we will continue to work to make that loss matter here in the Jonah Mac Theatre.